Welcome to Mr. Snacks Soul Cafe. My name is Hiroshi. Let's get to it, or let's get on it. All right? We're going to cover the illusion of government, of all governments, the illusion of Capitol Hill, the illusion of freedom, the illusion that slavery has ended. And I've heard it said, and I'm sure you all have, that we in this country, we're a free country, freer than any other country in the world. So let's look at this. I'm not here to condemn America or any other country. I'm just here to share an understanding so you can agree or agree to disagree. It's just a sharing. I want to start by saying all governments are immoral. Yeah. All governments are just really transformed plantation owners. Slavery hasn't ended, just the owners have changed. So these criminal institutions, I call them, have enslaved us all. Really. They have imposed and forced all to what? Under a threat of what? Fines, violence, imprisonment, embarrassment. You must pay your taxes, right? Our taxes go in this country to the Federal Reserve, which is a private corporation. It isn't the government. So as soon as you begin to work and be paid a salary for your work, you will be forced to pay taxes for the rest of your life. And there are a ton of taxes, property taxes, capital gains, taxes you pay when you buy a home or property. That's what property taxes, right? When you sell your home or property, you're taxed. The income tax, you pay on your income. They take out, about 40%? And even over that. And sometimes, of course, a lot more the more you make, the more taxes you pay. So if you saved in your lifetime and want to pass your inheritance to your kids, let's say, you pay an inheritance tax. You got state taxes, sales tax, and then the state takes out, in most states in this country, a tax. Then they take out money for Social Security. And if you don't abide, or, you don't go with the program, there's jail time. There are fines. Fines they impose on you if you're late paying your taxes, right? So you think you own your car? And you bought it, you had to pay taxes on it. Don't try not paying your registration fees. And you're forced to get, especially in this state here, Nevada, to get a smog every year. You're in Vegas. You own a home, try not paying your property taxes for the year and see what happens. Plus there's association fees when I had a home. Actually 2 homes. Had to pay $60, $70 association fees. And they came around and told you, well, you got to cut the trees, you got to get rid of the weeds. And they impose a bunch of rules. And you can't paint your house unless you get permission, or convert your garage to a studio or apartment. So how is this any different than what the mafia does? And you've seen those mafia movies, right? If taxes were voluntary, governments would not be immoral or corrupt. Why? Because they would be completely funded by donations only. Name one thing that governments provide that people couldn't do on their own, right? We can do it better and easier. And it would be at the community level. So there is nowhere on earth you can go that isn't controlled by a government. And all the land has been divided up and claimed. I'll tell you one thing here. We'll cover this in the future about flying over Antarctica. You can't do that. One cannot even go there to explore without being arrested. They'll stop you if you got a boat coming into Antarctica. No, you can't go anywhere near that place for whatever reason. So you find a government forcing you to pay taxes and to abide by their rules. So our government, for example, spends our tax dollars on what they desire to do with the money. And an example is this recent stimulus bill had billions of our tax dollars going to countries, other countries, and for causes that I'm sure many of us would be opposed to. But so what? They will do what they want with our tax dollars. So we are slaves to our government. Right? All people in the world are slaves to their governments. And so we are taught in school slavery ended long ago, and slavery, we will agree, is immoral. So if the government has taken part of my income, it's still slavery. And even turn to the Bible, religion, Exodus, the book of Exodus, where slavery is permitted, even in the Bible. And in the New Testament, it says slaves, obey your masters, right? So the very definition of government is mind control. Govern, from the Latin verb gubernare, is to control. And ment, M-E-N-T, from the Latin noun means what? I got it right here. It means mind. And yes, the vast majority of the world are mind controlled. We just think we are free. It's just a thought in the mind. Thoughts come and go. They're not real. And you check out the mainstream media, owned by a few corporations that tell you what they want you to know. And the masses believe what they see and hear. It's pretty sad. People still believe that the status government is moral. I think people are beginning to wake up in this world. It may be too late because they have an agenda. This world government, control. So the reality is that slavery hasn't gone away and freedom is an illusion. Yes, they give us the illusion of freedom. You know, like I can choose my college or become what I want in this life. Yes, but when you get paid, watch them take out 40, 50, 60% off for taxes or whatever. And they'll raise the taxes when they want to. And the government will give themselves raises when they want to. And pensions and 100% health care, great retirement. And so they're really looking out for themselves, not us. And even Franklin Delano Roosevelt, as president, said that a president is not elected, a president is selected. And listen very carefully here. The only system of just governance is anarchism or voluntarism. Now, anarchism doesn't mean without rules, anything goes. It literally means without rulers, without masters. There's no slavery. Voting for a new ceremonial figurehead, a president in this country, every 4 years will never create significant lasting change. It didn't happen with Obama, even though he preached change. How about Bush, Clinton, others? What has been exposed with the present president, with Trump being in office, is how corrupt the government is, how corrupt the media, the mainstream media is. I call it the virus. And governments, no matter where, cannot improve and be made moral from within. It's corrupt to the core. You can call it deep state or the swamp or whatever. None of the governments respect the right of the individual. Look at the stimulus bill proposed by Trump and even some Democrats and Republicans. Trump said 2,000 to the people. And who was it? Mitch McConnell would not even put it up for a vote. It's much needed funds for the American people. Did he care about that? Or any of the people in Congress who didn't want, there were people that didn't want money to go out to the people. Yet the very rich, the very wealthy, and the corporations, they get their money. So if governments are in existence for our benefits, right, for us, then they must be voluntary, and it ain't gonna happen. How about the schools? Schools today are indoctrination camps under the government's tutelage. One great thinker said, each year, the child is becoming to belong more and more to the state and less to the parent. My grandson, oldest one, came up with a good one when I was with him a while ago. And he said, why do we have to go to school? I said, indoctrination, brainwashing. It's a law. I think it's utterly ridiculous to be forced to, for 8 hours in school and then come home and spend hours doing homework? I think homeschooling is a better idea. I've got a quote here. John D. Rockefeller said, and I quote, I don't want a nation of thinkers. I want a nation of workers. So I would say when it comes to education, there's no school like home. School to me, and many students will tell you, is like a prison. You know, as far as education is concerned, it has little place in school. We live now in a country, we live now in a world where doctors destroy health. The attorneys in this country destroy justice, and universities destroy knowledge. Governments destroy freedom. The press destroys the truth, true information. The banks destroy the economy. What did I learn in school? I learned that Columbus discovered America, that weed, marijuana, is dangerous for you. It's a dangerous drug. What else? High school, yeah, the bombing of Pearl Harbor was a surprise attack. That the earth is a spinning ball, that there's such a thing, a label, gravity. Oh yes, another thing, George Washington, 6-year-old chopped down his father's cherry tree. The event never happened, but was invented by Washington's biographer to illustrate the, how remarkable George Washington was, and that he never told a lie. I want to close, time is up, with a quotation from Anthony Burgess. And he says, we're a government that believes in everybody having the illusion of free will. So I want to conclude that freedom does not exist fully, and that we are free is just an illusion, and that the system itself is a slave driver bent on profit and power. For who? The rich and mighty. Yeah, and we are slaves to this system, people. This system can never be fixed. It must be acknowledged as the poison it is. It's got to be dismantled and rebuilt. A revolution. We have literally become slaves to this system. And the press, the mainstream media, like the U.S. government or any other government, is corrupt. Anyway, time's up. Take care.